Alright, so I want to do a quick little update. I've had the bike a couple months now. I think I've put 2,200 miles on it, I think, something like that. I drive it a lot. I use it to commute and do side jobs and such. I still love it. It's still a great bike. I've added the genuine Honda trunk to it. So the seat never actually came in. I ordered one. Turns out it was coming from like the Netherlands or something. I don't know. Someone must have stole it in customs or something because what ended up coming was the pillion seat, I believe is what you call this. And it was used, and it ended up, I tried to put it on and it ended up breaking almost immediately. As soon as I went to close it, the old rotted out plastic just snapped in half. And I was like, okay, so I emailed them and I was like, so where's this seat? And they were like, we'll just send you a refund. So anyhow, um, I did a video before about this little screen here. I'm still not a huge fan of it. It's pretty small, but it's okay, I guess. I added a couple little decals to it. And then on the sides, on the back, just because I'm a dork like that. But yeah, I did the first maintenance on it. I think it was around 500 miles when I did the maintenance, 600, something like that. And then they said the next one wouldn't be due until 4,000 miles, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to hit that in the next month or two. So other than that, I haven't had to do anything. Put gas in it and go. I mean, this thing is great. I can see now why it was so popular, in a lot of European countries they'll ride them, and I honestly don't think I've ever seen one here. I live in Texas, and this is the first one I'd ever seen, and the dealership only had one. So anyhow, I had somebody ask if I would do a little comparison, so I figured I'd throw that in with this video. So this is what I was used to riding before I got the Honda. This is a Yamaha TMAX. I believe this is either a 2008 or 2009. I can't quite remember. I think it's a 2009. And the major difference, obviously, is you get the floorboards. And this is a scooter, so I mean, there's no gear shifting at all. Comfort-wise, honestly, they're about the same. The seats are definitely different, but neither of them give much. I mean, push down, I can feel the plastic underneath here. My wife says the same thing. Riding on this seat, as compared to this one, the only difference really with this one, it's wider, so she does get a little more support here. Whereas here, it's very limited. And when we ride together, she's got tons of room to scoot back, and not be right up on me. Whereas here, like, we're stuck like glue. I don't have a ruler on me right now, but I mean, it's, just maybe a foot and a few inches for her. Maybe not even that. I mean, it's really small. Here's my hand. And then just a little bit left after that, and then here's the back of that case. Whereas here, I mean, here's my hand, but if she really wanted to, we could add something right here, and she would have a little more. I never bought any aftermarket parts for this other than the horn. But I've had this bike a long time now. I mean, long time for me, what is that, 5 years, I think. And I want to say I'm up to 18,000 miles on this one. I didn't quite ride it as much as I've been riding this one. And mainly it's a power thing. This is a 500cc and it's plenty quick. But the thing with being able to have the gears to shift on the Honda is if I find myself in a sticky situation on the highway, like I said, you just slap that button right here. This is the minus button. I know it's kind of hard to see. I apologize. But you just slap that a couple of times, get to the gear you want to be in and rip that throttle. I mean, you're gonna get out of there quick. And then of course you just hit this plus button if you want to shift up quicker once you're done. Otherwise, like I said, the automatic, it's smart. This thing is smart. It knows what to do. You know, when you come to a stop, it feathers the clutch. You know, you don't got to slap it in neutral or anything. You can freely rock the wheels back and forth. It truly is a dream. I mean, Honda knows what they're doing. This thing is great. But as far as comfort goes, though, with the Yamaha, you do get the fairings and such that block a lot of the wind and a lot of the debris. So when you're sitting on this, you know, this is where your legs are going to sit up in here. And so you got all this that blocks everything for you. And of course, this great big beautiful windshield that blocks a whole lot of stuff. I mean, look at this thing compared to this one. I mean, this is nothing, you know. But so I would say if you were trying to get something that you wanted to do long hauls on, this thing is great. Once you swap that seat out, you can do a long haul on it and you'll have a ton of fun. Unfortunately, one of the main reasons I wanted to upgrade is I don't fit this thing very well. Like I said, I'm 6'4", so when my knees are up, I mean, you can see this. That's not even, you know, 2 inches of wiggle room there. But these have these nice little storage bins, which are also kind of nice to store things. And then, of course, under the seat is the storage. I'm sorry, I don't have my keys on me right now, so I can't do anything. But, yeah, if you don't care what people say, I mean, I've had constant people, oh, scooters are, you know, dumb or whatever, or blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, whatever. It gets me to point A and B, and it saves gas. I mean, this thing's been awesome, and I truly have enjoyed it. But I like the Honda better, I gotta say. If I could figure out a way to get some kind of something going on to, you know, help block some of the dirt and debris that, you know, comes flying up and hits you in the legs here, and find a windshield that will actually, you know, block something, and a seat that's actually comfortable, I'd like it a lot more. And I know I feel like I'm trying to say, let's turn this adventure bike into a cruiser bike, but the other thing too, you know, is you're sitting up high on this thing, you know, and I'm 6'4", so, you know, my head's way up here. So when I'm passing by, you know, people in their jacked up trucks, you know, this is Texas, everybody drives a jacked up truck. You know, with my head way up here, you know, I can see them. They can see me. If I was sitting on a little bitty cruiser way down here, you know, I don't think they'd see me. And that's what freaked me out the most. And that's why I was like, well, I don't want a cruiser then. You know, so I skipped on the Goldwing, you know, whatever else. Actually, I think that's the only cruiser Honda makes with the automatic. But if you're on the, you know, you want to go pick something up, I mean, you can't go wrong with this thing. Even without, you know, all the amenities that I mentioned before, it's still a blast to ride. It's responsive. It gets great gas mileage. I mean, you know, I'm one of those guys, you know, I'm 75, 85, you know, quickly, you know, okay, here's a semi-truck. I'm going to do 90. I don't care. I just want to get away from the semi-truck. It'll get up there, and it'll get there quick, and you'll still save gas doing it. When I'm just cruising 75, 65, I mean, this thing's easily getting 60, 50, you know, if I dip down onto a service road doing 55, I mean, that thing's hitting like 80 miles per gallon. It's awesome. Even at 75, you can still expect to get about 50, 55, 60, somewhere around there, just depending on the wind conditions. But this thing's still great. I still get out on it every now and then. It's got this nice little emergency brake. You just slap that forward when you park. And this one's got it too. Right here. You pull this little thing up and that clicks. And you push this little button down on the side and that snaps it out. I added the RAM mount. I added the USB. And everything, that is the main thing, is everything is so easy to do. Again, I'm sorry, I don't have my keys. But the battery compartment sits inside the storage compartment, and it's, I don't even think you have to unscrew anything. If you do, it's like one or two, and they give you a screwdriver and a little toolkit. And the pop battery sits right inside there, wires. I just pulled these down in through here and found a spot to slip them through, and bam, there we go. We're good to go. This thing, however, I did put the Denali Sound Bomb replacement horn, and that probably took me over an hour. And that's because you have to take the windscreen off, and you have to take these side fairings off. This is a piece right here that separates and comes off, and it's those little plastic little pop looking things. I wish I had one so I could show you. I've broken so many of those things getting this thing apart. To, you know, battery died or whatever, and I eventually got smart and added a trickle charger to it. But you know, that was another one of the main reasons I had to upgrade, is I couldn't do anything on this. You can't even do a radiator flush without taking a bunch of stuff apart. I believe it's on this side, and you have to take this panel off, this panel off. I think even part of the floorboard has to come off, and I'm pretty sure it sits inside here. But like I said before, you know, I mean, because of all the plastic and stuff, yeah, radiator sits inside there. You know, you're protected. The engine's protected. You know, like I just pointed out, that sits way back inside there. You know, you got this nice cover that comes around and protects everything. On the Honda, you have to buy separately a radiator guard. Otherwise, the radiator sits right here unprotected. And I've looked online, and those things are going for over $100 for a piece of friggin' metal to go over that, which is outrageous. But again, it's like, even just doing an oil change, you gotta remove this plastic piece, and to do that, you gotta remove this plastic piece and this plastic piece. It's just, you know, who wants to do that every time you gotta do an oil change? And when you're riding as much as I am, I was doing oil changes, you know, a couple times a year. So, anyhow, still a great bike. Unfortunately, where I live, nobody knows anything about these. Not even the place I bought it from. I took it in to try to get it serviced the first time, and they're like, how do you do this? How do you do that? I'm like, really, dude, it's your job to know. Come on, man. And so I just gave up on it. I just started doing everything myself, and it was just too much of a hassle. There is a guy on YouTube, though, that has a lot of videos on this bike. I want to say his channel is called Wheels Turning or something like that. It's an older gentleman, real nice guy. He's got a ton of videos on the Yamaha TMAX on how to do various things, and thanks to him, I was able to do a lot of this maintenance, but it just got so tiresome. I know this video is running long, and I apologize. At the end of the day, I still recommend them both if you can find someone that can do the work on this for you. If you can't, I just can't recommend it because it's too difficult to do everything. Whereas on the Honda, everything is so easy to do yourself. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.